A person who blame it on everything, but I got to the bottom, so I was the problem. It's over, I'm coming for everything. I think I know what's been going on, driven by voices inside of my head. I wanna do right, but they show me wrong. I guess I should listen to my heart instead. I'd like forgiveness, but I'm holding on. I make the choices and lie in my bed. I wanna do right, but they show me wrong.
Welcome back to the King Status Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Moore the King, along with my guys.
EdBuck, you know what's going on, man.
Jay do say.
If I do say so myself.
I mean, if they're going to do that shit every time, then I'm going to say it every time. It worked then. That's work. What's up, fellas? What's up?
What's happening? Thank y'all for tuning back in first and foremost. Thank you for the support and following. Make sure y'all continue to comment, like, subscribe. Follow us on all our pages and everything. All the links are below. But what's happening, fellas?
What's going on, man? How's y'all weekend?
What's going on? What's going on?
My weekend was all right. All that stuff. I ain't really do much.
Well, I asked about your weekend later. How you feel about dropping your first episode, man? You back out here. What's up? Drop the first episode.
Yes,
YouTube,
sir.
go check that out. King Status Podcast.
Well, I did start with welcome back, so I think they called it, but
I mean,
but it feels good, man. It feels good. Good energy, good
like
spirit,
4
and all that stuff.
episodes to go. They all welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
But nah, it's a lovely thing. How y'all feel about it? It felt good, like just doing what I set out to do.
It felt good. This is technically, I guess, I don't know, number it later.
Yeah.
Listen,
It'll be number whatever we want it to be to y'all.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
it definitely made me feel good. 'Cause I'm sitting back watching. I'm like, yo, I'm officially part of the new media. Like, that's all I was really
yeah.
taking. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
I'm
you
really
there
officially
now.
part of the
You
new media.
online.
Like,
Yeah.
That shit, nigga. I didn't get so tight to my the quality cleared up. That shit, fuck. That was a tongue twister. Quality cleared up.
what's crazy? I was about to say, y'all, like when y'all was talking about that first, like as soon as I put it up on my screen, everything was cool. I'm like, damn, like
Wasn't cool.
I'm like, I don't.
Have you scaled it up yet?
I'm about to say,
It took a minute.
I'm just
for me.
gonna show them just how good.
the only thing I really could like definitely tell was like, it was like cutting from like super crispy to like just crispy as hell. Like it was like in between, like, but it to me on my screen it wasn't like super
okay,
bad
so
or
basically,
anything.
I
Like
understand.
everything was just clean cut. Like
Yeah, it took a minute, but I was like, but that's the reason why I was still letting it sit.
So yeah.
But now it's like I'm like,
So
check
this is
me out.
1080p. It loaded like this
Yeah,
at 360. Let me you see this.
oh, all right, yeah. So I'm about to say thankful for me. I'm like by the time I put it up on my
This
joint, I ain't never
is-
have to.
Oh yeah, by the time you watched it, it was definitely like it was
So
complete.
this
Oh,
is
alright.
like higher than most people. Like this is 2160. This is better than most. Like this TV not even that good to pick this up. But yeah, like your phone,
Yeah, look at that though, like that.
Yeah, that's.
nigga. They there.
I
with
was
us.
about to say
You
this.
see that boy triceps? Ooh.
Everything I thought the camera, I thought the light was hot in my whole head. I'm Hat Man. That's what you about to call me.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Ooh, but
That boy
yeah.
definitely got.
First episode drop.
But yeah, so how? Well, I don't know if y'all completely answered, but how y'all feel about it?
I feel good, man. I feel good. Hey, man, this is just part of my journey. Hey, more. You gonna. Hey, everyone dropping pods.
Yeah, nah, it just made me feel accomplished. Like I was like, damn, like I'm a part of something. Like, and like
Makes
just
it real.
yeah, like for
Yeah.
me to know like where we get, like where we gonna have it to, it just make me feel legendary already or something. Like,
It definitely just feel like back in the swing of things for me. It's just like getting back to it. Like, and it felt good just being able to look on screen and really be
I was like, okay,
confident in
Marcus.
myself. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, Marcus, little thumbnail out of nowhere and drop the new
No.
logo on them.
No, that's the
Nah.
reason why I was like, yo, can you hurry up and send me like a still shot or something? Like, because I already had it prepared. I was like, once this done process, I would just hurry up and get it. And then, but it took a while for it like to get crispy.
By the time I was making it down
Yeah.
here.
But it was just like, I was like, the thumbnail gonna be small
I think-
anyway, so it still comes up pretty good.
like for me and too, I was just proud of niggas. Like, yo, we like really is like set out for something and really is doing it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
so for me, I was just like, it was like just a proud ass moment. And like, since my family's so big, everybody was like, oh snap! Like, my little cousin, like she walked in the crib and stuff like that. Like she like only like 3, but she walked in. She like, Eddie, what you doing on the TV? Like, how you get in there? So it was like, this is a little of stuff like that. It's like,
you know, it's
dang,
funny.
like,
My daughter kind of did the same thing, but I was upstairs the whole time. I came down and she was looking like, and I think she reacted to something, but I think I was just moving so quick that I just saw her like locked in on it. Like, wait, Daddy on the screen. So it's definitely one of the things. Like one of you kind of brought it up, not brought it up, but you said something real quick, which is I wanted to go in about. Like you said, it makes you feel like what we're about to take it to and the legendary it's about to be.
yeah.
One of the things I've been wanting to definitely ask y'all, what do y'all want y'all legacy to be? And I think this is one of them conversations I feel like personally men should have more of or have an idea of what they want their legacy to be. And as far as like, and that's anything, no matter like monetarily, how you want your lineage, everything. Like, what's like, what do y'all want y'all legacy to be, or what does it look like for y'all?
Well, for me, it looks like running a full on like empire type style. Like I want to be like I'm CEO. The Jeff Bezos in a sense, not that high. I never want to do whatever it takes to make that many billions. I know it's some shiesty in there, but I want to have that type of ownership over my life and my brand. Like that's like big legacy for me to where my family can walk into it and it's just the name itself holds a little bit of weight so that they can do whatever they need to do. Like name holding weight is like Trump. Trump whole weight came from his father. Like his father put him up, and then Trump used that to flip into more weight. And more. He's just a name now. The name alone netted him so many deals.
Right.
He be lying. Cosby cold faced lying. I got $1 billion. Oh, but now me saying that gonna get me $1 billion.
Exactly.
That's just like that. And I want that name recognition. I don't want to be so much of a household name. I want to be more as felt like a brand as a business. Like I'm cool with shifting completely behind the scenes in media, but I want to get into tech. I want to I'm about to start doing tech reviews down here after I get the rest of the equipment. Like it's definitely a heavy lane. I'm trying to build out a whole, like pretty much empire. Best way to put it.
Facts.
I don't know, like for me it's just like being able to like leave something behind, like something for the greater good, like for my family, like generational wealth or generational something for everybody to be a part of. Like I want my legacy to, like y'all said, like I wanted to, when you hear my last name, it's just ringing like, oh yeah, like it's coming with something. Like every time, like if I was the past, I wanted to be, damn, like while he was here, he made sure that this was in order, did this, like whatever. I want everything to be able to like just still be at a like the ball still rolling no matter what. Like I wanted to be just like a damn, he's just not here, but everything else is just continuing how it would have been if he was. Like,
and quick question, like to you specifically, because of like, and you're talking about just for your personal lineage, because I was like, where you're from, your last name does hold a lot. Like I was like that, like simple. It's so it holds so much that I'm like, bro, I'm one too. Like,
nah, real talk.
So I was like, I said, bro, you can't tell me nothing. I'm like, bro, I'm part of that. But was you done?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is like
what you done is hilarious.
No, because I did kind of cut him off. No, I was not, because I did kind of cut him off because I just was thinking that like I'm like, well, your last name do have something behind it, like the area we from. So,
Marcus said I'm ready.
I really just didn't want to cut, like, because I cut him off. And I know sometimes it's a loaded question, like.
Yeah, I was like basically done my premise.
Yeah, mine is like similar. Mine is like both of y'all's. Like it's like I want to be able to leave something. I always say it like this. I do things now and want to just have everything out there so that way my family's taken care of whether I'm here on this earth or not.
Right.
Like, so that's why it's just certain things like life insurance, the projects, like doing books and all that stuff, because I was like, yo, let me still make sure my daughter at least knows, like when I put out books and everything like that, podcast, she has a way to look back on where my head was and what I was talking about. So that way, even if I'm not on this earth, God willing, I am 100 more years, but it's just one of those. I just wanted to make sure my family,
100 more. How old are
is
you?
I already lived 100 years already.
Oh, this nigga's 135.
I'm-
Okay. All right.
I am not 35 though.
Hey.
Like,
Hey, he said Pharrell ain't the only one.
but yeah,
he gonna be around forever. I don't care what nobody says.
I mean, now if we ever get to that conversation, that's a crazy out of body conversation to speak about when you're not gonna be here no more.
Yeah,
them thoughts I'll be in the crib like. Let me stop thinking this shit. Nigga. Get back
no,
to
but no, but it's
Nah,
but
real
some
talk.
Get back to Mammy
real
shit.
talk.
but it's just one
Hey,
of
come here, kid. That shit's scary as hell.
Nah,
Nigga.
word up.
You be like,
it's only because it's one of those. Like I said, I just want to make sure my family is good, whether I'm here or not. So that's why, like I said, creatively, I just want to put everything out so that way I can still have my like what I'm teaching, what I'm trying to show people, and the generation that I may never see. You know, I just want them to be able to still learn from me, because one of the craziest things I've ever heard, and as simple as it was, I can't remember who said it, but they said, yeah, my mama said, you know why you don't really know like your great grandfather or anything? Because he didn't leave nothing for you. And it's like when you don't leave a stamp on your family name or legacy,
deep, right?
and sometimes it's literally just like the stamp. Like sometimes it's just a stamp, or just doing one little thing that could create that. That's why I said even with books, like where it's like, yo, he like look at where his mindset was to teach you, so you know this. So and that's
Grandpa some bell, because like, what if we black? They could be slaves. Like, how far you want to go? Because like we like 2 grandmoms from slavery.
I mean,
That's true.
that shit kind of crazy. Like great grandpa tried, nigga. He tried to get away from it.
no,
Shit, they caught his ass. He tried.
See, look,
damn.
he just took it overboard. Like he knows what I meant.
I know.
But nah,
Hey,
I'm
look,
saying,
man.
but I'm saying as far as for us, that's why I'm just thinking for me, what do I want to be said about me as time goes on? And that's why I said, like, creatively, it's the same way you said. Like, when you walk in that building, you don't want that building empire to end when you're done. You want that thing to keep going. You want your kids to keep that thing going. It's the same way, like, I always feel like when I can actually buy land, man, in my will and trust, I'm gonna put this can never be sold. It has to go through the family. Like let's keep this land forever, where we can say, hey, we own this land. This is our land for our family. So I think of things like that. That's why when I look at things like,
I want a compound. I'm that type nigga. I want a compound.
And I was just about to bring up when LeBron got that building, I said, man, that has to be such an amazing thing. Even though he said, like, man, it just felt good to bring his family and all that. But I was like, man, can you imagine that? Like, you build your legacy that much that you have a Nike building?
Yeah,
I said, bro, like,
is
your
crazy.
career is already stamped. We're always gonna be talking about you forever.
Right.
But I'm like, man, you got that building. Now your son's coming up, and then if they're like, it's like you can walk in that building. So it's that feeling. That's why I said, like, no, I just want to do so much right now and put it out there to where my family can still eat off it. For one, they can still see where my head was at that created it and everything like that, where they can learn from it still. But it's just like, man, like just being able to. But like I said, it's the mindset of just I want to make sure my family's taken care of whether I'm here or not.
Facts.
And that's
So
one
did
of
you
the
answer? Is this your answer? I'm trying to figure it, because I don't think you answered the first question.
Yeah, that's my answer. It was just so rudely interrupted by all y'all jokes and laughs.
But I was about to ask you on this topic. It's a saying or a quote. I don't know who it's by, but it's kind of like you had to walk to work. Like it was like, yo, my grandfather walked to work so that my dad can ride a bike, so that I could drive. and then my great grandkids is gonna be back on walking, like, because you don't learn, like, generations, like the like it'll be a gap because they had everything because you made it happen. Like, you ever think about, like, how some, like, and also I know some of this is a tax game, but like how some millionaires and billionaires out there say they're not gonna leave their kids anything, which most times you leave it to charity, then you make your kids the board of the charity so they control whatever happens with the money. But that's still not leaving it to them. It's still in the sense of you avoiding taxes, but I'm pretty sure they set it up later. But how you feel about people who say your kids gotta get on their own so they can understand?
I'm not completely against it
Like Shaq.
because Shaq's one of them. Steve Harvey's one of them. Like, he's like, yo, but they still help no matter what. They parents. You're not gonna just not help. You may not give them everything, but it's still like, yo, I'm gonna just point you in the right direction. Sometimes that's all you really need.
Yeah.
Like, it's just to get pointed in the right direction and like, okay, well, I watched you do this and all that stuff, and then now, like, even the respect that our name holds because of you, like the patriarch, the people we said in particular just now, like, so it always is still going to help. I'm not saying they didn't have to work hard for it and everything like that. They still had to, like, when you want to make it to the league, you still got to be good. Like,
right.
like, so.
Yeah, but that nepotism gets you a little bit of love. Like, Brownie's fire, but Brownie has a lot of things around him that also help support this.
But at the same time, I'm not. That's what LeBron worked hard for.
Yeah.
So to me, that's just what I still want to instill. I want to make it a little sweeter for you.
I'm about to say,
but I told you about interrupting me.
Keeping that in there, guys. That's what he do to me. Jay, leave that in there.
I'm little bro, but he know what's up.
But
Don't let the muscles fool you.
But dang, what was I saying now? Dang.
We talking. I'm about to say we just talking about like you making it sweet for like.
Oh yeah. I just didn't want to. I just want to be able to still make it like easier than I would have it, but still teach you like, hey, there's love in the process and the grind and everything like that, and you got to make people respect you, because sometimes, like, yes, like, my respect will probably only get you so far, where it's like, because you know me, I'm also one of them type people. I'm like, yeah, you did this years ago, but what have you done recently? Like, realistically, like, to make me feel like to invest in you or put my name behind you and all that stuff. So it's still like, that's why I was like, people like Bronny, he's still doing the work. He just, has the access to get the best trainers and everything like that.
And to me, that's the central part of it. Like, don't, like, the work can, like, it's still work there. Like, I would never want people to keep my kid in the background and like, oh, so you go to school, you spend I saw this money for you to have the best education so you can do this and take over the company. No, you be right here at the hip. We here,
right.
Homeschool. You gonna learn on the fly with me. We moving and shaking. Like you're gonna build with me, because there's no way. So, and I hope you keep your kid the same way. I hope that be my way of teaching my family. That be my instillment. Yo, we changed how we educate.
Yeah, I kind of said that. I kind of said the same thing too. Like, when eventually, like, I get that, like, bigger like that as an author, I think I will take my daughter on, like, certain moves with me so she can see. Not saying she has to be that, but just, like, get that creative place and like get in that
put
mindset.
her in that. I'm about to say put her in that zone. Like, oh, this is what it's like.
Right.
Like,
And
especially if she had an interest, like that. You know, like, kids are like not tell you just yet because they like, I don't want dad to know I'm trying to be like him type stuff. So it's like, you have him in that same building. It's like, oh, this is what he get the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is how it comes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
from process to process, to be to setting up the check, to getting the check, to cashing the check,
right.
to understanding where we put the money. Like, for me, that's how I'm going to carry.
Valuable.
Shows to how you can develop your kid in these different worlds and how they can gain something from just being, from you not letting them just be a role in it and take it all in. Like, even like how Michael B. Jordan's rapping Creed, from Ryan Coogler, having that connection from they first film and him just learning along with the curve. Yep. Like it's definitely ways you can do this without. I don't know. I'm somebody that don't think I could be like, I'm not leaving my kid. Like, my kid, he won't need me to leave him everything. It's gonna be set up with him in mind, but also it's gonna be like that. I don't. Yeah, that's weird.
Because I still want them to have that they can fend for themselves. Like, I don't want it to always feel like with my kids, like they need me in there. Like, they can call me for advice, but you don't need me to walk in with you. Like that's how I would want it to be. But I still would want her because I still feel like she's gonna go the creative route in some ways because naturally your kid because still naturally kids are going to do what they see you do. So even when I'm in the back on the bench, I started doing this. Like if I'm on the bench, I'll lay her on me and she'll be lifting it with me. So I was like, yo, I won't be shocked if she got into the fitness world because she sees this home gym at home.
Well, I mean, get into it. It needs to be a part of life. Period. Like
yeah,
that's the part
that's
we
what I'm
missing
saying.
when we black sometimes.
Like our kids are growing up in it. When he comes down here, he see like so it's gonna be just like yo, this is just second nature to me because it's always been around.
Stuff like that, I be thinking is so cool, like, cause it's like he'll see you down here doing stuff like that, and then like when everything is off camera, he'll grab some headphones and just be, for me, just doing little stuff like that, and it's like, damn, you don't even know, like you headed in that direction already, like.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you cover
my
that.
Kid, my kid a music junkie.
So you caught it.
Shit, you tripping we early on. You should have shot up ad real quick. Hey.
Yeah, right there would have been like
Hey,
I ain't gonna say
French. French man, give me the whole.
Hey yo.
Or come down here and knocking on the door like, yeah, we need that.
Hey yo.
King Status Podcast presented to you by.
Hey, if
My
you want me to
bad.
sponsor a shoot, if you you know what, break right here. If you want us to sponsor you on all that, just send stuff in. Contact us. Contact me directly or contact King Status Podcast page.
We'll set up
email.
a PO box too. A PO box. Y'all can just send stuff to the PO box.
Absolution. So, but yeah. So if y'all want to, like, we'll just have it like presented to you right here. Want to support if you got merch on it. I wish I remembered the name of who did this shirt. He came through the studio before.
I'm about to say real quick. My fault.
Nah, go ahead.
Like quick question, real quick
Just
before
quick
we
drop.
get off topic about the legacy. For y'all, like since y'all have kids, how much like tougher is it for y'all? Like, cause like it's not really it's not something that's literally actually like like that. It's something I just know it's like it's a parental thing. Like it's just that feeling because I'm a dad. I'm a stress about this type of thing. Like it's not necessarily real, I say, but like how does it feel to like every day you just know like, yo, I gotta get this shit right because I want them to understand like, yo, it's so like being that Teflon for them, like, yo, I'm taking all of this for you, like so you don't gotta feel this like what I felt, you don't have to go through what I went through. Like I was at like every day waking up knowing like, yo, I'm putting my best foot forward, like for your legacy to be so much greater than anything I ever said it like for myself because it wasn't the same for me.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Realistically,
Great question.
it's just it comes naturally, and you'll see. Well, you know, like just naturally as a man, like anyone that consider like the patriarch of your family and. But it doesn't even have to go with when you have kids. It's just how sometimes you got your household with your woman. It's just like that natural feeling of, yo, I got to make sure my family is good. I have to make sure I take care of them and everything. It's the same way in like the animal kingdom. It's just like the male wakes up every day to protect and keep everyone safe. Breed. I ain't gonna necessarily say provide, but in our nature, like as humans, like we
Yeah, I feel like
to
me it's a little
provide.
different. Me, it's a little equal. Like I don't feel all that pressure because me and my partner both going at this together, and also step like we both trying to attack it from all angles. So it's more of a team, a team model over here. So like I don't get that tremendous pressure. And I do have pressure to always, like you said, protect your family is always in your mind. And I'm just a protective person by nature. Like I was raised that way. So I mean that's just who I am. So it's not like that too much added for me. It's just it's every day knowing I want to make it home to this person. It's the biggest pressure to me. Like, yo, every decision I make, I gotta make it home.
Yeah.
So like I'm heavy critical. I'm heavy I'm heavy slow bop things. Like when we was in Mexico, they was like, yo, Jacob, what's no, I gotta figure out this ride situation. I gotta make sure we straight because I gotta get it back home. Yeah. I don't care. Hey, I love y'all. Y'all gotta make it home too, but I gotta get home.
And I'm glad you said that because that's really like the subconscious thing that we tell ourselves every day. I got somebody to get home to. Like you're just thinking it. That's why one of the things I always say, especially us as black men, Like, yo, when we walk out that door, the world is against us.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this on camera, like the world is against us. But yeah, one of the things I definitely want to say is that us as black men, when we walk out that door, we know the world is against us. Like we have our people against us. We have women against us. We have the police against us. And I know that that's kind of heavy that I'm saying that, but it's just realistic. Like you see people who aren't a threat to anybody. They're really good people that still succumb to police brutality, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, just innocent lives and everything like that. So that's one of the reasons why I don't take for granted making it home. When I ask God every morning, make sure I make it back home, I always say, like, people obviously don't pray enough because my prayers get answered every day. When I make it back home, that's one of my prayers I have every morning, is to make it back home safely to my family, that they're safe as well. Right. So please, everybody, if you got a black man living in the house, and black men too, like, don't take that for granted, being able to just, when you make it back home in the door, because, you know, to us, well, to anybody, like, home is supposed to be the safest place for you. Facts. Like, so when you make it home, that almost feels like, you know, when we was kids, like when you play, like, and you go base, like, and stuff like that, that's what it's supposed to feel like, now I can I can just let loose. I can let go of everything. But like when you don't understand sometimes that pressure of just when you walk out the door, the world is against you. Whether you're in the streets, a criminal, or you just innocent, everybody's against you. Mm-hmm. And that's just how I always looked at it. So I definitely agree with you when like, yo, it's just always in the back of my head, I got somebody to make it home to.
Yeah.
Quality answers, man.
What? Let's see.
And realistically, I guess I kind of missed the part, like, in your original question, like the part pressure, and I was like, I feel like in some ways I would feel like I would have that pressure whether I had a family or not. Yeah, like to just build that up. But I think having a family puts it really like at the forefront of
having a family made me wish I took my 20s more seriously. And that's the kick. Like, I had a ball. I thank God for that time, because you really need that as a human being.
Facts.
I don't want to say just as a man, because I think women need that time too to just experience life, figure out what you don't like, what you do like, and live in your own pace at your own time. Mm-hmm. But if I this is one I always talk about. My biggest regret in life is Bitcoin, man. I knew about it in 2012. I did a whole report on it in my digital forensics class. And I was like, how the government will never let this shit happen, because you could buy people, weapons of mass destruction, you could buy anything, because you can't get the encryption. So once I send the funds, it's gone. That's the main thing. Like even that's the part of crypto people don't even talk about anymore. Like, it's all like, oh, well, you can gain as much money from it. No, nigga, this is still currency that's untraceable, untrackable. I can pay for anything with this, and now that you basically legitimize that, I can now get the money from whatever I want to do. So and we kind of move into a digital currency already. So like that's like my biggest like regret in life was not just like, let me just keep up with it. Let me just see and not think of it as so much of an assignment.
Real quick, it's funny that you say that, because like I got like, you feel me? You know, like you got like some internet friends, like people that you just strictly know from like, and it's like I know a few people off of there, like we was in the same area, but I don't know them specifically, but we like got mutual people that we know and stuff. Mm-hmm. And this one dude on there, and he really been off like a couple of things like that, like in like Bitcoin and stuff like that. I think he was like in like Bitcoin and Dogecoin, like when they like before anybody, and I'm talking like maybe almost like a year before the joint took off. And I remember him, I was like, yo, if y'all got some extra money, trust me, put like $100 to $200 into this joint or whatever. And you feel me? Like at the time, it's like, I ain't about to put. And it's like, bro, if you would have did that back then, and like when it first jumped, and I'm like, bro, you around be like,
instant. That's not a game, bro. $1 took with my up hundreds of millions of dollars, and $100.
And this like even this football player, like one of these football players, he wound up taking like half of his salary and putting it into Bitcoin. And you feel me? You the highest paid defensive tackle. You feel me? I'm only like, you worth 30 million. I was worth 10. He put the little 5 million in the Bitcoin. The joint wound up taking off. He wound up becoming the highest paid defensive tackle because whatever happened, shit they shot, he made 75 million or something like that. I'm like, oh my goodness, like
So,
Yeah,
and it's
well,
funny.
Don't pay me in Bitcoin, okay? I ain't there yet. Pay me regular. I need to be able to buy realistic shit. B&H Photo don't take Bitcoin yet, nigga. I need more camera equipment and overstock. Don't take Bitcoin, niggas. I need furniture and shit. Don't pay me in Bitcoin yet. That nigga tripping a little shit. It's a number on the
walking
board
in the
to
Bob's
me.
Furniture. Do you take Bitcoin? Like what?
no, we got bills and shit.
Right.
Niggas gonna look
no,
at
we
you
got
confused.
bills
Like, I
and
mean,
shit.
so how do I get the money from this? Send me the one coin, but I want
Yeah.
my money. Well, you see, you got to hold on. You gotta- hold on. That's the difference. You can't do it like that. I mean, this is just something for you to hold for a little minute. Then when it becomes, you know what? I'm gonna shut the fuck up. With this. Here's my credit card.
Yeah, right. I think the
But-
good thing though, like you bringing that up too, as far as like the investment, because we talking about legacy. So and legacy is just more of that long term thing. So like it's good like how like y'all just made that correlate like because it's all the long term process. Like and you know us as humans, we want everything fast. Like I always say like man, why can't I just trip and fall into like $1 million? Like just.
But that's why I feel like my fault to cut
go
you
ahead.
real quick. But that's why I feel like even like we preach that too. But like the higher ups like really get into like yo fall in love with the grind because like once you make it, it's just like oh all right like for me personally like I feel like I always been that type of person where it's like I might have been so infatuated with like the way something looked and then like by the time I get there and stuff like that and I did it, it's like this is it like.
I think that's that point right there is the reason why I always say, like, if you're competing with me, you already lost because your destination is where I'm at currently, but my destination is so far ahead of where I'm at. So that's why that feeling is like of the, when I got it, it's like, dang, I thought it would be so much more like this is because you put your goal on where somebody else was and you realize, it ain't that much, or you thought you would feel like this.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, nah, that's why I'm like, nah, my goals are way ahead of me. You can't imagine the stuff I imagine that I would like, it would be so beautiful to have, like just little things.
I feel like
Well, not little things, big things, but it's just like some things are just like it's the same way when I look at seeing like one of the biggest things now I'm looking at where I look at people like, dang, it's somebody's an award-winning author, and I'm looking at them like, and if you go to their page, it's not like they may have like 200 followers and everything like that, but it's like one of those, but I want that goal that they accomplished, and it's not like they're big and famous, but it's like, at the same time, I want that goal that they have. So it's different for everybody. So that's that. I'm glad you did say that.
It's like what we were saying before too. It's like, what you might think like is a big goal to somebody, it might be minuscule to the next person.
Yeah.
And it was like going back to like
And
what you
vice
said
versa,
before. It was like, if you set out to be like where I am here, you always gonna be back here because the more I'm looking for something up here, so you just gonna finally get to where I was at, and I'm looking so up here again. So it's like what you said. It's like the whole time you just gonna be doing this, like you're just gonna be following my lead, basically. Like,
Yeah, because it was, and I think
We speaking about legacy and what we gonna do, but I asked him earlier, what's your 5-year plan? Like that's a big part of me of my legacy, planning in advance, planning. I got a 5-year, 10-year. Like there's things I want at certain times, and once you set that plan and give it a date, you gotta make sure. Like for some people like me, it makes me like I gotta start this process because I can't want to be here and I'm still stagnant right here. No, I have to at least get on the path to be where I want to be at. So, like, do y'all think about 5-year plan? You got a 5-year plan?
for sure, I think about it. However, like now, because of like the person I am, like I got the wildest imagination. Like I got imagination big as the sky, honestly. Like so, like for me, I feel like coming up and like being the type of person I was and like always trying to work and doing this and whatever. I feel like I kind of like lost my like ability to stay in the present, kind of. So like I feel like for so many years I was so focused on like I gotta get to like or make sure that it's going to be like this by this time, that I never really like get a chance to like
Live in the moment.
and fall in love with the process of trying to get there. So like I feel like for me personally, like my 5-year plan really stems from like what me every day, like because I already know what I'm trying to do. I don't have to think about that no more, like because that's set in stone for me personally. Like I know I want to go do this. I know I want to go do that. That's going to happen regardless. I have to take the time now to fix whatever it is, like to perfect how I want to feel, because once I get to there, everything after that is going to come regardless. Like I feel like literally how you feel now is like, yo, I literally watched you be at where I felt like you should have been. Like, oh, I seen you get to this personally. Like, for me, on the outside looking, it's like, damn, I just seen you do this. I just seen you do that. I seen you. But to you, you wasn't there yet because you wasn't feeling right mentally or whatever the case might have been for you personally.
Right.
Everything else that you was going to do was always going to happen. Like everything that's happening now, we talked about this when we was 15. So like for everybody else, it's like, yo, he doing da-da-da-da. This is so crazy. For me, I'm in love with, yo, it's finally happening for you the way that you wanted to, because I seen this happen to you. I seen it happen for you already. I done seen you get a deal in music. I done seen you literally write music for people. I done seen you do a lot of the stuff that people were like, yo, I want to do that and whatever. It's like, yo, I've really watched you do that for people, or I mean for yourself already. But now it's like, because it's all put together, now it's actually like I can say I'm doing it.
You know, sometimes I it's always when I'm like talking to Jay or something, because like bringing him up to speed with a lot of stuff I've been around, it's almost like sometimes I forget that I was around. Like even one of the things where I was like, yo, when we saw like when Matt Hoffa was on the screen, I said, dang man, I'm proud of Matt for what he turned into. I was like, yo, I met him in South Beach, and I'm like, dang.
Yeah,
I met him like
there. Yeah, but
then like even like
trying to get out the rain, just literally ran right into him. Like,
and then I was like, yeah, and then like this Sirius Jones, I said, wait, I was in the studio with him before too. Like I said, it's just certain things where I'm like, yo, sometimes I forget that I was really just so around everything. But to answer, like to go on what your question is, I feel like I'm trying to really be in that place completely too, like of being grateful in the moment. Because sometimes it's just sometimes I'm just sitting there looking, and I'll just look at what I have, and I'm like, man, I'm so focused on I want to get there that I don't even realize, like, man, like look at what I have though. Like even when you said to me, like, yo, what you have is somebody's success story. And
real
I'm like,
talk.
and it's because going back to that mentality, like, yo, because I'm looking so far ahead at what I feel like what my ending goal would be, which I still not even gonna say. I don't know what my complete ending goal would be, because I could say like, yo, I want to live in this city and be that. Because even living out here, I said, yo, it's funny. I never even imagined living out here. I knew I wanted to be close to here because of the connections and everything like that goes on in the city, and everybody be grinding. But it was like, yo, I never really pictured living here. Like, and I was like, yo, and I live here. So of course I don't look at like, yo, life can go any way you take it. And going back to also the thing you said about the in your 20s. And I said, yo, as long as I don't make the mistakes, as long as I don't spend all my 30s making up for my 20s mistakes, then I'm gonna be all right. And that's why I was like, yo, I'm glad I kind of got through like most of them like early. Like, so that's why I was like, yo, I'm not spending all my 30s making up for my 20s mistakes. Now, yes, I definitely do say like I do wish I was just a little more focused, but I was like, but I don't regret, because I did have a lot of fun, which is why I'm able now to, I feel like, be able to be a family man for one. I don't have to feel like, yo, I'm missing out on everything. I feel like I have something more to grind for, and it opened my mind up creatively, and because it wasn't until I had my daughter that I ever even thought about even doing a children's book. When I was featured on another podcast and they asked me that, did you think you would do that? I said it was in my imagination, but I definitely didn't think it was gonna come as soon as it did. And that's when I say, like, I let my daughter lead me sometimes creatively. Whatever she's saying out of her mouth, like that she has an interest in, then my interest goes there too. Like
I feel like
But
kind of like
if I answered your question,
nah, for sure. I'm about to say, was that his question or was that?
it was.
I
You
don't
had
even
just
remember.
asked something, but it wasn't answered. It wasn't like he didn't give his 5-year plan really.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
about
you
to
did
say,
ask the
yeah,
5-year
yeah.
plan,
I
man. I
feel
started
like,
going there. I thought
yeah.
he asked something.
Yeah, he did.
I was just picking back
he
off
said
what he
like
said.
something for you, and then your mind started like, I got
All
his
right,
facts.
yeah.
Nah,
You
I
know
feel
how
like,
my mind
like, and kind of like to go back and like the 5-year plan, like my answer really stem off of like kind of what my mom said to me before, like what I had said to you that one time. It's like, yo, you kind of like it's so far up here that you got to realize like, yo, you ain't this, you ain't that, you ain't like you doing pretty
Yeah.
good for yourself. So it's like for me, it's like, yo, like what my mom said to me was like in different it's like it's different, but it's kind of like the same. And like she used to just be beasting on me, like, yo, you being so hard on yourself because I'm so focused on trying to get to here, whatever. And she's like, yo, you not dead, you not in jail. She was like, you have a roof over your head, you got money, you got this, whatever. Why are you stressing so hard? And it's stuff like that that make me feel like, yo, sometimes I gotta come back to the present because I be so focused on everything that I know that I'm already destined to get because that's what I'm going for. That I kind of forget, like, yo, all you got to do is just walk in that with your faith and everything will be cool. You just got to do the work. So it's like, it's hard. Like sometimes it's hard for me. Like, oh, you got a 5-year plan. It's like, I do, but it's like, I can't really tell you that because once I do something, the simple stuff, all of that is coming. So it's like, I don't need the 5 years for that to happen because if everything pan out in 1 year, my whole 5 years is going to be altered to the like everything better because of what I just took care of. You feel me?
and the reason why that has become like helped me growth wise was because like looking and like being able to pay attention to the moment. It helped me growth wise because now having a family, it's like bruh, like you still so depressed and all that stuff because you keep thinking what you don't have and you don't take a second to really look at what you do have. And that's why now I look at things and I'm like, man, like even some of the things, the way my life is, some of the things I have, it's like, yo, I remember I was saying all this just because I thought it'd probably be on this scale where I wanted it to by this age. Like, you young and naive, but I was like, but yo, you still have it. It may not be at the scale you said, but you have it. So now you already started creating the habits to get you there. So now it'll be even more regular when you do get to that point where it's like I ain't gotta worry about a thing now. And then like I said, one of my ultimate goals is where like definitely where I wake up and Morehouse Media is my job, like completely. I wake up to go do that. And then that provides, it takes care of my family, keeps my business running, everything. That's, if I could say my ultimate goal, it'll be that. That award-winning author, best-selling author, everything like that. I think one of my new ones will be when I finally do it is like film awards, things like that. Like, and you never know, and I don't know where it could take me and everything like that. So it's like I can say like my goal with that because I haven't done it yet. Like it's film, so I'm not gonna say my goal is Oscars, but I'm not gonna sit there and think it can't happen for me.
Right.
It's the thing you sent me with Dame. Like think of the best thing first, and I said I'm so glad. I said I wish I would have had that game years ago.
Facts.
But I'm glad I'm in that space now. So when it's like when I saw it, it was like
It can really like you can really feel it like, oh,
now
all right.
now I'm really there. Like it's like, yo, think of the best thing first, think of the worst thing last. And that's why when you sent me it, I was like, bro, the video still gave me chills because I still was like, yo, I don't know for both parties why I never watched this one. So it made me let me go watch this, obviously, because it's like I admire both sides. But it was just like that.
Because it was like for me, I'm watching it. I was like, yo, that's some shit I would have did to you. Like that. I feel like that's why it was like for me, it was so like.
And that's how I receive game.
Yeah.
Like where it's like because it's one of them things, bro. It's like that's why I do salute how Rocky is and was with me because it's like yo, if I never did it, he's not asking me because to make me. He's asking me because he knows if he does it, it's gonna like he wouldn't ask me to do something he knows I wouldn't be good at.
Yeah.
And everything like that. So it was like so when Dame put Stack on the spot, and Stack was actually fire when he did it, like it was like, and then Dame told him like, yo, you show me you got the confidence to be an actor. So he's like, yo, but what's stopping you? And he put him on the spot, and I was like, yo, sometimes that's just how I receive game, where it's like, yo, you got to show me, bro, like stop, like really just stop bullshit. That's why I said certain things in life started getting in front of me where I was like, yo, God really like, here, now what's your excuse? Here, now what's your excuse? Like I said, the gym memberships and everything, the way that works, like where it's like, you know, I work my way and that, like, but it's like things like that. It's like, okay, what's your excuse now? Like, it just started being so many things. Like, prolific design. It's like it just started being like, oh, you say you want to get back in podcasting. What's your excuse now? And the studios right around the corner. Like, so it's like, really, what's your excuse now? So it started being that. And I'm just one of them people, I'm gonna take that accountability. Like,
Yeah.
like where it's I'm not gonna be like, well, I'm still missing this and that. Like, no, it's like, no, when things get put on me where it's like now you're forced to go do that, it's the same way. Like, I really wasn't buying clothes like that, but even doing this forced me to be like, yo, let me go get a couple new outfits and stuff. Yeah. Like, I'm being back on camera. I can't remember the last time I wore earrings, bought earrings, and I can't remember the last time I wore both of them. Like, sometimes, like, everybody forget, like, they be like, yo, I didn't know your ears was pierced. I was like, yo, I just don't really wear them now. Every time, like, I'm like, let me just pop these bad boys on and all that stuff.
You trying to give them a little bit of that, just a little bit, man. A little bit of it. But for me, like a 5-year plan for me is kind of holding myself accountable to a lot of things, and it's also learning the process.
Accountability is like the biggest thing.
Yeah, like for
to
me,
make it happen.
Like we talked about the animation, different things. So like, I can start to look into it. Well, yo, I already watched a show on stunt artists and animators and how they got started and how they just what they use and what they do, and then understand how to get to whatever goal is in my mind, and then attaching that goal. And I don't like, you definitely live in the moment. Like, I take my days off, but the goal is always like, all right, by summer I got to be here. So to do that, I have to be able to find a way to do that. So like for me, it's always find a hustle. Like a lot of this, I was using the installment plan shit to finesse and get shit through that. And then when that slowed up, I had to find another way to get shit. Like it's definitely just, for me, it's giving myself those deadlines of certain things I want to achieve, certain purchases I want to make, to then set me up for that next year and that next year. So by the end of this 5 years, I'm exactly where I want to be. No ifs and buts. The work is in. Yeah. I knew exactly how to get here, and I did every step I wanted to do my way.
And one of the things I definitely adopted years ago is writing the goals down. And I got so many things, like even projects. Like, I got a dry erase board where I'm like, okay, I want this to be done by this date. This is the date I got. This is the process. It may not technically be in order, but it's like, okay, let me just keep in mind I got my notebooks where I write down certain goals that I'm like, okay, what do I want this year, like 2023 goals to be, and then like the future goals, which are like, I would have a vision board. Like, my vision board is the life goals that I have, like what type of house I would want, how many, like the type of cars I would want, not just the materialistic things. Like, I want my family to be blessed. Like, because I know one of the things I had on my old vision board, I even had like the picture of like brothers, where it's like that represents like always be your brother's keeper, and things like that. Having a blessed family. One of the goals I always write down, Jay, like no matter what year, every year I write down and say make 100K off of what I'm like creatively or everything. Like, find a way to make that 100K just off like creatively, because then I feel like that's when I really can be like, time to go super full-fledged. That I'm not necessarily saying that's my number, but that's a number to really make me like, oh, let me, because if I can do that with my craft.
100,000, brother. Hey, you ain't got to explain why it's 100,000 to me. I know what it'll do. Right. But for me, that's why I take it so serious for me, because now, like, for me, I have a path to get to that number. Right. So for me, it's, this many hours of studio time is that number.
And
Period.
it goes back to what I say too, to answer the question of the 5-year plan. Sometimes you got to really get committed and start it now to where you want to look like. So that's why I'm
Well, that's the
like,
point of 5-year plan. You end your year. Like, if that's why I don't really ask though. Do you have a 5-year plan? Because that's my question. More than would you create one? If you have one, that means you in it. So where you at in your in year one goal?
facts.
Did you miss it? Or are you still on pace to it? Did you set realistic goals? Is it something that's realistically achievable? That's how I see it. More as now, if you want to start your 5-year goal, that's fine. But you gonna have to start once we finish this conversation.
Right.
That's how that
Yeah,
goes. Because now you here, you thought about it, you got to do it. So you on your journey, you on your path, and draw it out. You don't gotta be like every day, but 3 months.
Yeah.
Every quarter you can have
that's what I
a
said.
quarter goal. All right, check in. I'm big on dividing a year into quarters because that's how real businesses do it. Because every quarter matter.
Yeah, because even like the other little things, like just like what I want my credit score to be by the end of this year, what process I want to be able to start, like even like when I say like even things like if you want to buy a home, or at least sometimes I even put goals like even if it's not this year, I want to be in this time, like by the end of this year, I want to be able to start the process. So it doesn't have to necessarily happen this year. And some of the things like, buying a home, certain things like you don't want to settle on. So you're not just going to like, cause you're pretty sure like we've been in those positions where if we just wanted to just settle with small home and stuff, like we could have did that. But it's like we have this idea in our head, and then the area, like the place we live now, of course, we're not naturally going to feel like if we went to something smaller, it'd be like now it'll feel like to us like we like downgraded in a way, like so it's like I can already see your next place is not going to be smaller than this.
Oh no,
or anything like that. Like, and that's how I feel. Like I said, even if it's the same size, it won't be smaller. Like, but.
Yeah, there's only progression for me. There is no regression. I'm never going backwards. I'm committed to taking this shit as far as I can take
progression. Well, us as men, a lot of us as men thrive off progression. So anytime like I take that step up, I always feel so good about myself. And that always lets me know like, you see what happens when you just get committed to yourself. A certain level of commitment and accountability you have to make to yourself to really get yourself going. That's why every time I say, when I look in the mirror and take accountability for everything I need in life and don't look at no one else, don't look at what everybody else has, and I just get focused on what I need to do, that's when my life always took a step up. So that's what I tell people, like, accountability and commitment are like the biggest things, but you got to learn how to take accountability for yourself. Stop blaming everybody for what you don't have, because ultimately what you don't have is your fault. Stop complaining about it. Yeah, this person may have did something to you 10 years ago, but bruh, it's 10 years ago and you a whole adult. They may have did that to you when you was 10. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about like just certain things that are just completely traumatic, because everybody has their fight. But I'm saying, like, if you're still complaining you don't have a car, but you've been working a lot of years, like, stop buying all this other stuff. Stop spending money on things you don't need and go get that. Just get focused on it. Because like even when you brought that up in the episode, and you said like, to you it felt like it only took me maybe a month when I said, I gotta get a car, and then like boom, I just had one. But I remember that time because it was like, I remember it was just some dude, like, and he didn't have like the lifestyle that we had living, especially at that point. Like, so it was like and he was just like, I saved up this much. Like, we started working the same day. He's like, I saved up this much, because he was trying to get a car. And he's like, I got this much. And I'm like, dang, like, he saved up that much, and I only got like maybe $1,000, like, and stuff like that. And I was just like, and that really showed me like, nah, bro, you gotta get focused, because you need a car. So then that's why I turned into that, like, because like I keep saying, I just got that switch. Sometimes it's just, like, I gotta get my shit together.
Got that
like,
Corolla.
Huh?
Said that Corolla.
Yeah, sometimes I look
at
it. Legendary.
Yeah. If I was smarter, if I would have known more about life, I'd probably still have it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that would be my only car, but I would still have it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I would probably try, like, for me, life took some shit away from me, so some shit you just couldn't have be able to take with you. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is essential to like just developing yourself as a person. Like even for times when I felt like I just snapped into it, I still was doing the work loosely. Like even like for me, like I'll consume content, but my content is more on shit I want to do. I don't ever watch anything as just a regular person. Since even when I was watching cartoons as a kid, I would practice drawing them. Like when I was like one of the first people going DBZ crazy drawing them because it just was like I was watching this shit constantly.
Yeah.
So it was like it becomes second nature to me to learn in that way because I always kind of self taught like whatever I need to do. Self taught because like school's not really like if you go to environments where it's not really individualized for you, so that your learning plan is based on curriculum, not on yourself, and then also trying to pick up things that you want to do. Like if you grew up like I grew up out of pop, so playing ball was self taught. Like I'm niggas outside hooping, we just gonna go at it, and then the point was like we all right.
Right.
We could actually we playing every day. Like this is. I can do this on the court now. Like, like it's a certain level. Like I remember growing up and the older people than me, a few years older, just a certain command on the court. And I remember when I got that command on the court to where once you step on the line, it's all right, I'm guarding from here. Mm-hmm. And that kind of like that approach to like how I process and how I learn kind of helps me along the way. And that's why like I got lofty goals and they set in ways that where they're achievable. You just gotta keep working at them. Like even when like that's why even when people be like how you feeling? Even when I'm down and like not super, like maybe a little depressed. I won't say super because I've been depressed and I know how that shit feel. Mm-hmm. So when I'm just a little down, but then I still got my goals, it'd be like, hey nigga, get the fuck up.
Right.
It is not like this is not chill time. Chill time is for you in 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when it's. All right, I'm here. Like, all right, cool. Let's take. I can take 6 months off.
Yeah,
take 6 months off there. The fuck I want to do.
It's funny.
That's how I feel.
How you did that sigh. I said because that's always like the best feeling when I feel like I can just like I'm like I feel like I can breathe for a second. That's why even like the debut, it just felt good to still feel like I still set out even if things weren't perfect and all that stuff. I was like I still, even because like when I sent that text, I was like, I was already getting to that place like, stop being like that. Just push through it. Cause I wasn't like down. I was just more like, should we still promote it? And then when you was like, bro, yeah, like we're gonna keep, and I was just like,
that shit,
you know what?
Crazy.
Yeah, like I was like, still, cause it's still like long enough to where it's like, we were
an hour
saying
and
like,
40 minutes. If it just cut off, niggas just cut off. Fuck is you talking? Niggas was giving y'all tape, like even right now. Like,
but yeah, because it was still like quality stuff.
Hey,
so that's
for me,
why
it's always hiccups in this business early on trying because you just some things you just don't know till you do it again.
Right.
And that's why like because I already know that and like
and
that
shit change all the time.
And that's one of the reasons why
crazy
like I said,
YouTube restriction from nowhere. Like what?
Like where it's like why I don't be complaining because I say that's why when I texted I said bro it's the devil's job to throw hurdles in the way
right.
And that means I'm doing something right like
Absolutely.
and that's how I gotta look at it. I just taught myself something with that too, just thinking that like that means you're doing something right. If you ain't doing something right, the devil ain't gonna pay attention to you. Like he gonna let you go ahead. Like I'm busy over here, but I was like so something like that, and that's what kept me in like the good spirit of like, man, it's his job to think. So that means like, oh, now I'm gonna just come harder on it. Now I'm gonna just throw a game plan. I'm gonna bob and weave, hit him with this uppercut. Like,
no facts.
Come harder on him. Wait.
Yo, shut up.
Hey,
Hey, yo. What advice would y'all give anybody to build their legacy, or like you just want what you want people to know, like, and that you may want us to know, like, advice for us?
I respect that he just yoded me, y'all. He just did a yoda on me. He
no,
was
I'm
like, guess what?
It can start with
I'm
him.
switching. I know. I would say like, just get your monologue off and then we close. This nigga said, no, I'm gonna make you niggas talk too. All right. Well, my advice on legacy would be, get a plan. Get a plan. Understand what that is. Like there's somebody called I think his name was like Employed Millionaire or some or Unemployed Millionaire. But he speaks about like a trust and what to do with like what now, because you got everything's a hustle. Now you got all these people hustling life insurance, but there is actually truth in that hustle.
Right.
But there you can learn actually how to make that so when your family like at certain points your kid never not has crazy money at every step of their life. Facts. And it's set up to be deposited in a way. And it just you gotta look at his content because I don't really have it on my hand. Like I didn't expect to talk about it right now, but he had a great blueprint on how you can achieve wealth for your family for the future from today. Not from like, oh, I gotta make all this money first. From today, yo, if you sow this seed and you put it the right way and just put this into this, you can turn this into that and just pay attention. You can turn using your family, like using your trust as a bank. Like it's a lot of stuff you can do with your policies and things like that.
And not to
so
cut
my
you off
thing
real
would be
quick.
get a plan.
Yeah, and not to cut you off real quick. That's why I was like, life insurance is also one of those things. Like whether you're here or not, you take care of your family if you know what you're doing. Like,
I would say for real, just like get like I was like how you said like find a plan for me, stick to it. I just would say like just do what you think. You feel me? Like do what's best for you for your legacy. Like don't let everybody else like critique you into what you trying to do or whatever. Like yo, stand down on what you feel like you want for yourself and your legacy. Don't let nobody else like, oh well, because his legacy is he want to have a yacht or something like that. You got to start veering off to like, oh, I gotta get yacht money. To like, yo, do what you want to do, and really stick to that, and like really build toward like work, like write it down, and it's like what you said, maybe quarter by quarter, like just do something that's going to put you in the steps to reaching your goal and fulfilling your legacy. That's what I'll say.
Before you get closed out, I had one more thing to add that just popped in my brain because this was on the spot. But also, you have to, and it just slipped up my brain that quick.
damn man,
it. But you have to. What was I about to say? Oh yeah. Also, your legacy is your children. So like, yo, for me, one things I think about often, like I just was talking about the area stuff, of like how when you're not here and what that really would be. But also like, yo, I want my son to be able to give a great My Father speech. When that speech of my father was, and you got to give that speech on that stage and what those words mean. And for me, I'm kind of writing that story so he could tell it. So like I want to make sure, I want him to also have my father was a kind man. My father was this. Like for me, a lot of time, like yo, it's a smack in the face as a man when his story is yo, he was a hard worker. If that's all somebody know, like yo, nigga, you worked your whole life. Your whole life you just went to work. Yo, that's some people, dog. My grandpa was a hard worker. He worked his ass off for the Navy, thinking he was doing something for this, but they didn't give a fuck. It was as he aged and they sold certain parts, and new ownership comes in. They was making him drive to Mechanicsburg at 30 years in the company, driving 2-3 hours in the middle of Pennsylvania nowhere every fucking day. Shit was insane. But that kind of stuff is why I go so hard for how I am, and how when everybody talk about like, yo, I don't give. You want to work regular, you sound insane to me. It's like, yo, you want to work, but he's making this, you're making this. How he got there was doing what you was doing, and he just said, well, what's the next step? Well, oh shit, all right, I'm here. Hey, I don't need you. Cut. Like some people want to be 20-year employees from replacing that. Like I got a person that worked for me that goes to retire from my company. She's almost there, but it was like, damn, 25 years of your life here could never be me.
One of the things you said that I'm with you too. Like people usually laugh when I say it, but I said, "Oh no, I want to be that man." Like when my daughter's telling her grandkids, and I got that picture of me. This was your, this was your great grandfather, Mr. Mortar King. He was such a strong, powerful man. Like like that royalty type thing. Like, but I would say, of course, write your plan out, write your plans out. Doesn't matter. It could be quarterly, yearly. It could be weekly goals. Like just write it out, get committed, and just take accountability, and think about who you want, who do you want to benefit from what you're creating, and what you want your last name to be, what you want your name to be, how do you want people to talk about you. So, but we'll wrap it with that. I want to thank y'all for tuning back in. To the King Status Podcast with me, Mr. Mortar King, EdBuck LC, and Mr. If I Do Say So Myself.
J motherfucker do say.
And you can follow us. All the links will be below. Like, comment, subscribe.
Mama, I made it.
Hey, yo.
Send heart eyes to every one of these guys and everything like that. But don't get me caught up. But no one can fit the crowd meant for you. And tune in again next week, every Friday. Appreciate y'all. Peace and love.
Love and peace.